All right, if we take a look at number 45, it says if we have triangle TRE congruent to triangle GEO. So let's get that drawn. So triangle TRY congruent to triangle GEO. And we are told that the measure of angle T is 36, and the measure of angle E is 73, and we need to find the measure of angle O. So we know that if we look that these are congruent, then angle T would be congruent to angle G. So therefore, if this is 36, this would have to be 36. And so then we could take triangle sum over here and say if we have 180 minus this 36 minus this 73, that would give us that the measure of angle O is going to be equal to 71 degrees. If we look at the next one here, let me get my triangles drawn. Once again, we're saying that if triangle TRY is congruent to triangle GEO, we are told that we have a 38 here, and we have a 28 here, and this is 5x plus 8, and we are being asked to solve for x. So if we look at this, TR would be congruent to GO, and so I'm going to set up the equation 5x plus 8 is equal to 38, and if I solve that equation, I'm going to get that x is 6. If I look at 47, I have triangle ABC is isosceles with the vertex angle C. So I'm going to make this ABC. C is my vertex angle. The measure of angle A is 3x minus 6. So this is 3x minus 6. And the measure of angle C is 2x. So if C is our vertex angle, A is 3x minus 6, B would have to be 3x minus 6. I could then take and say that if I add up all those interior angles, two of them are 3x minus 6, and then plus 2x. I'll make sure that I wrote that correctly there, 2x, that will equal 180 for triangle sum. And then that's going to give me, when I solve that x is 24. And then if we want to find the measure of angle C, find the measure of angle B, we would need to have 3 times x, which is 24, minus 6. So the measure of angle B is going to end up being 66. So all right, if we look at 48, given an isosceles triangle with a vertex angle that measures 70, what is the measure of each base angle? So if this is 70, I'm going to take triangle sum 180 and subtract out 70, and that's going to give me 110 degrees, but that's 110 to split between these two base angles, So I'm going to divide that by 2, and each one of those then will equal 55 degrees. Solve for x and find the length of the base if triangle ABC is an isosceles triangle with B as the vertex. So I'm going to write this as A, B, C. B is my vertex. AB is 5x minus 28. Here is x plus 5. And here is 2x plus 11. And so if we look at this, then what we know, if it is a isosceles triangle and B is the vertex, then we would have this side congruent to this side. And so if we look at setting up an equation, we're going to have 5x minus 28 equal to 2x plus 11. And then if we solve that, we're going to have that x is equal to 13, but it asks us to find the length of the base. And so that would be right here. 13 plus 5 is going to give us 18. And did we have units on that? Units. All right, so taking a look here, we are asked to find the measure of angle KML first. So if I look at where KML is located, that's right here, and it's part of an isosceles, or sorry, it's part of an equilateral triangle, and so therefore I would know that this measurement in here has to be 60. If this measurement right here is 60, and this measurement here is given to me as 50, all I would need to do is to take 180 and subtract out the 60 and then subtract out the 50, and then that is going to tell me that this angle right here is going to have to end up being 70. If I look, what I have here on this triangle here is an isosceles triangle, and so there's our congruent sides. This in yellow right here would be our base angle, and so this one would have to be 70, and that would give us 140 for a sum so far in that triangle. And when we subtract that from 180, that's going to tell us that this is 40. It then tells us, after I get all that erased, if, let's play the if-then game, if the measure of HJM, so HJM, this right here, if that is 145, we need to find MHJ, which is this angle right here. And so what we would see is that angle J right here is the vertex angle of an isosceles. So I would need to take my 180 of my triangle sum, and I'm going to subtract out 45. And then when I get that, I'm going to have to take and divide that by 2. Divide it by 2 because I take the triangle sum, I subtract out the vertex angle, and then I have that amount of measurement left to split between the two base angles. And so that's going to give me that measurement is going to be 17.5 degrees. And so that's the measure of angle MHJ. And let me erase that out. And the last thing says that if we have angle G is 67 degrees, so right here 67 degrees, we need to find the measure of GHM. So we're looking for this measure right here. When we're looking at this triangle, we're at an isosceles triangle, and here are congruent sides. So this would be 67, and this would be 67. If we look at triangle sum, and if we take 180 minus 67 minus 67, that's going to tell us that that angle in there is going to be 46.